360 calories.
Hang on, what? That's no way.
You heard me. You heard me. It must be literally pure fat, this thing, but, down the hatch.
Don't eat it. That's just no. When you're eating on a cast, that's a no right there. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed, Danog. You should know
What do you
better,
mean?
and
I just need something to wash it down.
they're not our sponsor, so that's a horrible plug. You should know better, honestly. Pretty disappointed. And secondly, you just ate
10
one little
seconds
chocolate piece with
remaining.
360
Radiant
calories.
team
That is,
ban.
ugh. I don't know. There's got to be some consequences to that. I don't know. You might have to be run to the bathroom mid game or something. There's got to be something wrong with that chocolate.
Nah, beautiful.
Oh, I had the teams on the wrong place as well. I blame you.
Well, see, clearly you're the one that's screwing up. All right, let's talk about the draft areas. You're out of control. Io Mars starting things off, and yeah, it's a pretty standard
5
combination.
seconds
Dragon Knight
remaining.
Keeper, very meta, right? Like just good at pushing, good at team fighting, sustain. I mean, I feel like that's the biggest thing, right? Anything that just enables you to not be, I guess the right term would be resource starved on the map is going to be big. Because Keeper of the Light, you could pick something like a Leshrac or a Storm Spirit. Oddly enough, Army Geniuses are the ones to ban that out after they pick up the Keeper of the Light, the Medusa, the Storm Spirit. But
10
you could just use
seconds
it for a Dragon
remaining.
Knight as well, right? Lots of chain stuns happening with the Dragon
5
Tail.
seconds remaining.
But my big thing is like DK has insane regen. Coddle pretty good at keeping that up as well. It's why I think Underlord. I'm becoming more of a fan of it just because of the Fiend's Gate. Go back to Fountain, come straight back. And even Coddle, like if he gets his Aghanim Shard right, can do a very similar sort of thing. Just TP someone back to the base, recall him straight back.
Where have you been seeing this Underlord? Because it's multiple times you've mentioned it now today. Is where you've been watching games that
Dire
you're kind of winning
team
you over.
Radiant team pick.
I believe it was Western Europe that they were picking it. Maybe. Oh no, I was watching Koikfer and Seb casting the uh, NA tiebreakers, and I
10
think they were talking
seconds
about it
remaining.
and how they liked it. And since then I've searched it out. They've done it
5
a little bit
seconds
in China as
remaining.
well, and it seems to be a pretty decent response.
Do you like the build that I saw? Who's the build that I saw Ace go for on the Underlord? Did you see that game? He went for Basher BKB Satanic.
I think it was late game.
No, he went first item Basher.
I did see a tiny in China go first item Moonshard,
I
like at
just
13 minutes,
I just tweeted about that, bro. What you
and they
hang on.
won.
Yes, that was Shylock, I believe, that went for it, and Arme did it yesterday, and he demolished. We're getting, it's kind of interesting. I think China's going for a lot more like Hand of Midases that they're getting. I know some people are going Mask of Madness, but yeah, Moonshot's interesting. Anyway, we don't have to worry about them. We got a Razor picked up for Army Geniuses. We have seen them give it over to DB a couple of times over in Division 2. What does the Razor really provide them, though, this game? Because they don't see many heroes on MY.
Radiant team
You
pick.
don't, but I mean, this is a fast-paced, aggressive build, right? And it's how Army Geniuses like to play. Just run at you, Dota. You've already got that with the Dragon Knight, who honestly, there's not a lot of downtime with the Elder Dragon form these days if you get good value out of it. And I mean, you're a Dragon Knight, right? If you die,
Dire team
it's
pick.
going to be a result of probably some poor positioning. And Io, Ogre Magi aren't heroes that do damage early on. So Dragon Knight feels very secure in that aspect. So maybe they're just feeling like, all right, well, we'll just go all in on this. Let Dragon Knight be the one to push, go for a bit of a flank with the Razor, and look to steamroll them in this way. I'm a little surprised that they didn't go for something like. I was about to say the Bloodseeker against the Razor, but I feel like you just stand still next to the Dragon Knight, and there's nothing that the enemy team can do, at least super early on, and you're still going to get an objective, right? And it's not. Honestly, the Bloodseeker is pretty decent against the DK, though, isn't it? I would say get the Aghanim Shard.
Yeah, I think so as well. You got a lot of pure damage. I like Bloodseeker against like tanky heroes. I'm intrigued about this Morphling pick though. I think the new acquisition of the carry for MY, Jay, he's calling for the Morphling. This is a 17th pick where pretty it's honestly pretty decent this game. They only have one stun and the your own static link is very good versus the Razor, but it's a carry we don't see often, and I think it's a carry that we really only get on plays that specialize on this hero. So I have to imagine Jay is very comfortable on the Morphling.
Well, the last time he played it in a ranked game was about a day ago, and he went 22, 0, and 8.
There you
So
go.
I feel like if that's your most
Ooh.
recent... Okay, yeah.
That's such a
Don't hate
bait.
it.
You sure? They have one stun.
Against an IO and a Morphling?
They have one stun. How do you round this together then?
Chakra the DK and stun him again.
So stun one person, then stun the other afterwards. Then you get double value of the Ice Blast. I don't know.
We've got
That's
their mid laner. Unless
Dire
Coddle's...
team ban.
It could be a Coddle mid, right? And then you just toss another stun in your position 4 roll.
you could. They banned out the Void, so thinking that this could be flex anywhere. You know, with the Razor and the Dragonite, can put the Razor mid, can put the Razor off lane. Same with the Dragonite. So
10
Interesting.
seconds
Couldn't Wyvern
remaining.
here, could you, Army Geniuses?
why?
I really like...
They cannot.
5
They
seconds
cannot.
remaining.
No.
Why not?
Okay, why they can't? Because you have a Wyvern and an Ancient Apparition
Radiant
support
team
duo
dire
and a
team
Cuddle
back.
mid, and you have no stuns, and
Winter's Curse.
okay, cool, very good. They ban out anti-mage as well, so I really feel like this Razor is going to be put in a different role. I mean, Mars is...
You don't want to even hear my justification of the
No,
Wyvern?
I don't. I think it's a horrible thought process of
10 seconds
why
remaining.
would we get a Wyvern?
Tell you anyway, because you're against... Like, there's no
5
grip stroke,
seconds.
right?
This
'Cause
is
they
like
banned it out.
Sheepo speaking about when a Meepo gets picked up. You know, when we saw that Meepo in the later stages of Division 1, and then the panel was just like, all right, there you go. You have all your time. You can just speak about the Meepo. Who cares about anything else? It's you. You want your Wyvern. They're not... No, I'm not going to let you speak about it. There's not going to be a Wyvern. What am I picking? It's probably a mid.
They'll need to pick a mid that's able to deal with the Wyvern that Army Geniuses are going to pick. So something that dives, something that is capable of dealing damage through the
10
Cold
seconds
Embrace that the
remaining.
Wyvern is going to have.
Dire team
Well-
pick.
Let's see.
Oh,
Okay, yep. Pretty decent against a Wyvern, I have to say. I mean, it really
Um,
punishes the fact that they're lacking stuns now, that's for sure.
Okay, so do you put the DK mid now against the Puck and go for a better offlaner to deal with the Morphling?
Oh, I guess. Oh no, Sand King's gone. What do they get? A Doom? Hate a Doom. That'll
I
do.
don't hate that either. I don't think it pairs well with the Ice Blast, but I think there's a very good Night Stalker game. You excel at being able to control the Puck, the Morphling. You don't care about Arena. I like it a lot versus IO. It is also a combo that we saw a long time ago. China really liked the Night Stalker and the Coddle together. Now, that was a position 1, and you were going Ag Scepter build and playing off the back of that. I do not believe Womi's going to go down that route, but it is something that we've seen in the past. Regardless, a double nuke from the Void is a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it's still obviously going to go the BKB, but I feel like you go that directly in response to going onto the Puck as this Night Stalker. The thing is, Night Stalker is one of 3 heroes in the game that actually does not care, as long as he's got the Dark Ascension popped, about the Mars Arena. He has the flying component. It's not just flying, like elevated vision. He's actually flying. Only him, Wyvern, and Clockwork when he's jetpacking have that, where you're able to just disregard the Mars Arena. So obviously you need the BKB because you're just going to get dream coiled otherwise and not have an impact in these fights. But you don't need to worry about the secondary, perhaps, team fight coming through from Mars.
All right, can you take a guess at what level Jay is on the Morphling before we get in?
I'm going to say Master.
Is Master 25 or 30?
25.
Okay,
Grandmaster.
I'm gonna say I'll go 27. Wow,
Silver.
what a boring player! Come on, man, you're supposed
So-
to spam this.
Prepare
Yeah.
for
So
battle.
do you think, are we calling him Jay? Like, is that what he's
Yes.
going by? Because the name directly translates to Swan.
That's his Liquipedia, and Dougie, our beautiful admin, also said Jay.
What does he add on Wikipedia?
Well, no, he doesn't, but that's what is on MY's like team. Like if you hover over the team, the player shop, and position 1 is known as Jay. So yes, I'm going by Jay. How are we feeling about this?
Video, this player does not exist.
Yes.
So, about that.
How are we feeling about our game one, Danog? We've got a bit of an interesting draft. Army Geniuses kind of trying to go for some counters here with the Ancient Apparition, but does it pair well with their lineup? Do they have synergy and do they have a way to take this game one?
The only thing I'm worried about is the puck. I feel like the puck is going to have a dominant game, unless you... I mean, I guess the Night Stalker is a pretty decent response, right? As long as you're able to get in on top of the puck. I think the big thing that Army Geniuses are going to look to go for is the Blink BKB timing on Wami. And I think once they've got that, there's really not too much that MY can look to do in response to it.
I think BKBs are the only time Radiant will... Sorry, Dire. If Dire get BKBs, of course, there's going to be 3 coming out. Night Stalker, Dragon Knight, and the Razor. That, for me, is the biggest timing for them in this game. If they cannot hit that in stride, then I feel like Radiant have what it takes. I like their... You've got really good ways to be able to amplify your Morphling with the Ire, with the Ogre. You have really good team fight along with that. Coil, Mars Arena. I think early on, some of the plays to make are pretty reliant on level 6s in Coil and Arena again, just mentioning, but I'm only looking at pretty much if Azura can get multiple pickoffs with Blink and then that triple BKB timing on Dire.
Azura has been playing pretty damn well
He
though,
has.
in this past little bit of time, though, so we'll see what he's capable of doing. I mean, this mid matchup is really favorable for him.
It definitely is. And I like you mentioning that because we've also, when Azura was introduced to Army Geniuses, we were both very impressed with his just hero pool and how he was able to play and pull games together. And he kind of transitioned that very well into Vision 2. We saw Army Geniuses, they ended 5-2, which is a in any other, I think, tour, that's potential for tiebreakers and even being promoted or major slots, whatever. But the fact that just Talon and RSG were so dominant was a big issue for Army Geniuses.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit unlucky in the fact that they had to play against the teams that ended up going 1 and 2 pretty early on into the tour. So maybe some of that team cohesion wasn't quite there at the very beginning.
Another thing to mention for MY is that they've continuing, we've spoken about the acquisition of the new carry player and Jay, but they keep going back and forth with their coach, MyPro, and Stylist. It looks like Stylist is back and playing the position 4. There was quite some time where MyPro was actually playing instead, so at least they do have some familiarity there, but just goes to show that they're kind of not set in stone and comfortable with this, at least position 4. Stylist should go down. First blood's going to be given over to Varize. A great start for the top lane on Army Geniuses.
Hyper warming up to come straight back in.
Don't say that. What the hell, man? What's Stylist done to you, huh? For you to roast him like that?
He's done nothing at all. Except feed first blood.
Yeah, but does it affect you?
No, not really.
Not really.
This is one of those lanes that are really annoying, by the way, for the Ogre. He's got the boots of speed, but he still has a hard time of catching up to the Keeper of the Light. Like, simply with a windlace, it's enough to be able to just completely outrange an Ogre. And it's not like Coddle's harassing the Ogre either, right? Like, right-clicking him isn't going to do all that much with the good armor and regen that an Ogre has. But it just means that he's free to do whatever the hell he wants. You know, keep the Morphling a little bit pressured, make sure that Wami is able to get his levels, build up some stacks for the team. He's even going for a nice little pull here that an Ogre's not going to be able to do a huge amount to be able to stop.
Is this just going to be a free farming lane for the Morphling? Like, is there anything they can really do to prevent Jay from having a good lane?
Not really. I mean, maybe if it hits nighttime and you get 1 point into the Crippling Fear, maybe you catch him in Agi form. You know, the Void Slow takes a little bit, is a little bit longer at nighttime, and you use that to get a Coddle Blast off. But other than that, I'd say it's pretty free.
It's like all up side lanes honestly going pretty well. Of course, that first blood up top was really the only dent to start out our game, 4 minutes in. But we've got our second round of the water runes. There's going to be no contestation from the supports, though. So it looks like Azura and BB will be able to find these with ease. I think it's now we're kind of looking towards the catapult timing, and Azura's level 6. So do you feel like Army Geniuses have supports that are able to rotate mid and kind of play with Azura?
Not really, to be honest. I feel like he's just going to be playing on his own for a fair amount of this time. Maybe look to put a little bit of pressure onto that mid tower. I don't really feel like he wants to move to another lane, though, either, right? Like, I feel like a support or two on their own isn't going to change much of anything. It needs to be the Night Stalker and/or the Razor that also makes a rotation, or he needs to go to one of those other lanes.
He's going to take a lot of damage here. Got all back up in a couple of seconds. He got very aggressive with his spell usage, so Azura to jump on that with a Dragon Tail, but BB's got plenty of bottle charges to heal himself back up.
How many denies you got? 11. Yeah, pretty expected. This DK, I think you've got about a 15 damage advantage over the puck, so he's forced to go back into farming the small camps and the like, not anywhere near as efficient for both gold and experience. And you can just see they're pinging out the siege creep already, saying, look, we're going to need to be able to respond to this somehow.
This is a very risky play, but I wouldn't hate if Womit goes mid, because I don't see what two supports on an Ancient Apparition and a COD will do. But I feel like if you have the Night Stalker mid with a silence or like a mini stun in the void, could actually hold back BB and maybe get the kill.
Actually already used the glyph there, so it's surprising that...
Alright, coils out. It's going to snap on the Keeper of the Lion Axe. Is able to sweep one over to mid along with this, so Narman will be killed off. Unfortunately, BB will not get the power rune, though. It's going to be Regen top that Rish is standing ground to protect. That's a long-range stun from Lion Axe. What the heck? Is he going to jump to it? No, BB won't. But these are tanky heroes, and Azura really doesn't have much damage at the moment. Gonna try and TP in Narman, refreshing up some of the spells, and alright, Varese, nicely done. He's able to get the kill. He's up to level 4 now.
I guess, but I mean, the main goal there was to make sure that Azura is not able to hit the tower. So he'll get a couple of more hits in with this ending part of the Elder Dragon form, but tower's not taken that much damage out of the first one. So it's a good little response. It was BB that really made the call for the rest of his team to come mid there at that time. So nice recognition coming through from the puck, even though in terms of net worth and last hits, he has fallen a tiny bit behind.
Yeah, I think this is just all on that Radiant have supports that a little bit better at the early stages compared to what Dyes were. You can't really do anything to pair with the aggressive Elder Dragon form that you were trying to have to take down that tower. So Army Geniuses, they do have a very early net worth lead, though. Top is going quite well for the Razor.
They probably should have gotten another kill there. DB used the static link but didn't steal any damage. I don't think I've ever seen that, where it's literally 0 damage stolen from a static link. And you've got two separate slows on the Ancient Apparition, plus your Plasma Field. Probably should be happening, but well, gave time for Stylus to make the rotation back there, and mean that he survives to fight another day.
We do have level 6 though on Wommy. Double brace and of course nighttime for another 2 minutes. How can they look to get this Night Stalker involved and give him a good start?
I'd honestly... they're going to go for a bit of a... I was about to say kill attempt there on the Morphling, but not going to be the case.
It's going to be in the
I'd
river.
be
That
happy
Reese
to...
is in trouble. Well, nice sidestep, but it doesn't matter. 4 heroes and MY. An easy kill getting rid of the life of Varish.
But yeah, look at what they do again, right? Right around the time that the Elder Dragon form's back available, you see multiple MY heroes just saying, look, you cannot push this. We're not going to let you get something for free.
Radiant are scanning.
The fact that you're putting a lot of emphasis onto this means that our Morphling is still going to farm a little bit. But I was about to say, I feel like you just keep Narman down here on the bottom side of the map, let him get that faster Spirit Vessel, and make Wommy make the rotation towards the mid lane. Because I feel like if he's there, you're very capable of getting straight on top of the puck and looking to do some damage in that way.
100% in agreement. Because that's also kind of what I brought up earlier. Like, I want the Night Stalker to go mid. And especially now with Max Out Void and Dark Ascension, like, you are going to be able to provide so much extra help that you kind of Azura needs with this DK early.
Yeah, he doesn't have the crippling fear though, which is the only downside, I suppose. But it's only 50 seconds until we're going to have daytime again, so it's going to be needing to be around that Dark Ascension. Maybe that's the plan for Army Geniuses, right? Let it get to 10 minutes. Have the bottom lane pushed in by the Keeper of the Light. Make the rotation through. Play around the Siege creep at the 10-minute mark, plus the Elder Dragon form, plus having crippling fear. And then if you've still got duration left after you take a successful team fight, you can then look to join in onto one of the other lanes. But Azura actually makes the rotation bot instead. They'll still get a tower, but it's certainly not the all-valuable one, which is that mid-tier one.
And honestly, maybe they're not too worried as well, though, because all their cores are farming really well. We haven't seen any conversions with the arena, and Puck hasn't made any rotations because of the threat of this Dragon Knight taking a tower. So all the lanes from Army Geniuses, you got top 3 in their cores, and I think, again, BKB is the most important thing for Army Geniuses. If you can hit them all 3 in stride, and well, they are putting themselves in quite the position to do so. Top lane Breeze should go down.
He is dead as a doornail.
What? Wait, dead as a doornail?
Yeah, it's a boomer phrase. Don't worry about it.
Would you like to explain for all the Zoomers out there?
You think I know it? It's passed down from me from previous generations like a folk story.
Like a folk story? Oh, no way. Oh my lord, dead as a
I mean, it could be dead as a... Maybe I'm saying it wrong as well. I'm pretty sure it's actually dead as a dodo.
Mid lane. Okay, BB. Coil's out. Relatively tanky, then he still popped the coil. So the break is there, completely wasting the Dark Ascension. Now Ice Blast does find the Morphling. He's going to be killed off here. It should shatter. Alright, that's not the worst trade.
It's not the worst. It could be better though, right? Like, A, snapping the coil,
Top
B...
lane, Seri. He's going to be in some trouble. Spear... Is he there in the nick of time? But he's got the pick ball to be able to close the distance. Not the phase boots on DB. And actually, with the tethered movement speed, Seri, he's able to run himself out of the lane.
Worthy of a god's praise.
Yeah, it's not only the coil snap, they also heard the relocate coming in, and it was just a pretty early use of the blinding light coming through from the Keeper of the Light there.
Oh, DB's in trouble. He's going to try and tank through all the damage. Strength Treads, Raindrop, but it will not matter as MY surround the Razor top. And Army Geniuses, they're going to try and use this information now to maybe get something out of the map as Azura and Naman putting a little bit of damage onto the tier 1 mid.
They're worried about the coil, but just had a couple of seconds left on it, so it wouldn't have actually been a factor. Is Azura lucky? No, he is not, and ends up getting the illusion rune up on the top side for BB. So, I mean, a tower denied, only losing 2 at this stage of the game against a Dragon Knight. You have to be feeling relatively happy about that.
Yeah. I think we're also seeing the cores get all their farm. I think everyone has to be pretty happy with this early game. You got the Mars 3-0-1. Now he's going BKB first item on Seri. I guess feeling like the Puck is ample way for them to start fights.
Sure. I guess he just wants to be in there, you know, tanking up a lot, never having his spells prevented from happening. It's really just going to be who hits their timing first with the BKB, right? You want to have the BKB against the Razor just so that you can, you know, always make sure you're getting the spear off in these engagements, and Razor, of course, wants to have it so that you're not having to worry about the arena.
Azura revealing the blink just on a stylus. So it's a beautiful way to set up for that Ice Blast, and the Eye will pop, but MY, they're going to look to try and hit back. An ambitious coil usage with no one else being able to step in.
Very ambitious. I almost wonder if they're looking to go for a play now with Army Geniuses in the next 25 or so seconds. No Dream Coil for 60. You're going to have the, well, you don't quite have Echo Saber, but Wami's got the Dark Ascension. You've got the Elder Dragon form up in 15 seconds. Ice Blast in 30. I definitely think you try and make a bit of a play around here and enable DB to be aggressive. That's what you pick the hero for.
Dude, Lionax is such a crazy good player. The experience that he gained from Motivate coming into kind of the academy roster of MY, and we've always sung his praise, and that's kind of probably a weird way to put it though, with him just dying, but beautiful
Yeah, I was
position
about
from
to
him.
say, like,
I'm
yeah,
trying to build into it. I'm trying to build into it. Like,
for the people that were less aware that
Yeah.
dying can be a good thing if the support does it in the right place.
because it was perfect. You were mentioning that Army Genius is probably going to consider smoking with Coil on cooldown. They had the Observer Ward up top, which was scouting out all three heroes of MY, and you see Lion Axe is just put his body on the line, exactly like a support should be doing. And yeah, it's definitely, it was an awkward way to put it, but was leading there to Lion Axe. He always does it though. He's always on point, reading the moves of the enemy team and popping smokes and keeping those cores healthy.
Yep, doing a great job. All right, Wami, he's level 10. He's got that extra Dark Ascension duration. He's 50 gold away from the Echo Saber. Going for another smoke here. Armin's a little short on having his Spirit Vessel, which I'd be perhaps a tiny bit concerned about. But if you're able to get a free kill onto someone like the Puck with the Blink Dagger that Azura has, then it's very easy to convert. But yeah, BB as well. It's not just Lion Axe. He's also got a very good recognition of where Army Geniuses are likely to be playing.
Still, the net worth lead is continuing to grow for Army Geniuses. It's up to 4,000. We haven't really seen any aggressive plays, and DB is completely uncontested. This is a huge ancient stack for the Razor.
There's one of those items. Won't have Eye of the Storm if they opt to go for an immediate push, but they'll have the BKB. And looking to snipe a little bit of that gold. Maybe just helping out his Razor as well. But honestly, I'd be happy to give it over to Narman. Just that tiny little bit. That Spirit Vessel's so important when you're coming up against an IO and a Morphling. And he'll get it. That stack gold plus the small camp, that's enough.
They did smoke twice very recently, but do you feel like they're in a position where they could maybe force another? Hold that thought. Wami bottom. Gonna run to the Puck, and Azura's in a position to be able to follow up, so Puck will be killed off. Beautifully done. They've got decent time in the Elder Dragon form along with the catapult, so maybe they get aggressive for the tier 2.
You at least pop the glyph, right? Like, I don't think you're going to be able to take the tower, but I think you can force something to be expanded on MY's side. Question is, what do MY look to do in response? Is it still the farming game? I would say so, considering Seri is so close to picking up his own BKB. So a mechanism coming soon for Stylist. He'll need to pop it pretty preemptively, right? You're up against an Ancient Apparition, so any healing that you can do is going to be better than none, even if it's not completely ideal.
Man, Lion Axe is only level 6. He's having a bit of a tough one to be able to find those levels this game. And it's bottom again. BB's under a ward. Sending in the Ice Blast. Let's see, he's actually going to jaunt in aggressively instead as the TPs along with the relocate starting to come down. But look at the silence! Wami onto all three. Just instantly crumbles the attempt as MY can't use any spells. They enter the grave and Army Geniuses are licking their lips after that fight.
That's what happens when you don't have a BKB on the Mars, right? Like, he gets caught inside the silence. What can you do? Maybe if he's able to get that off, he could save the rest of his team from getting followed up on, but or at least expend, some BKB charges. But instead, 4 people die, you lose a tower, and Army Geniuses lose nothing.
This 8,000 net worth lead, and BB's game, that's 2 deaths in a row for him, where he hasn't really been able to get much of a footing. It's really just Jay on the Morphling, who has a Lincoln that's going to be working on the BKB next item, but when is this Morphling in fighting shape?
Ooh, I would
DB's
say...
actually going to run into Seri. A defensive arena, but DB just runs straight through with the BKB, so Seri's going to be forced to pop his own. Hasn't been killed off just yet. DB has to respect his own BKB soon to expire.
Oh, the last tick of the Ice Blast. Literally the last tick. Morphling's online when he gets either a BKB or a Link. So, gonna be a little bit of time still. About 2,500 gold away.
Like
The question is, what are they going to do in the meantime? You've got the Arcane Rune, which they're popping to be able to push into this mid lane. There's no glyph, so still plenty of chances for Army Geniuses to be able to take away a lot of MY's map.
the emphasis that Army Geniuses are putting on these deep lane wards. We saw one down bottom at the bottom tier 2 tower, which set them up perfectly for that team fight. They put another one now behind the top tier 2 tower. So they're really looking to have this DK jump or the Night Stalker jump with Blink coming down, and then all of a sudden have multiple heroes diving deep.
Now, I don't personally agree with this, but I want to see what your understanding of it would be. Do you think it's worth DB going for a Lincoln Sphere just to be able to stop the morphling from morphing into the Razor? I feel like he'd be much better served just going Refresher and abusing the fact that you've got such a strong timing right now.
Hold that thought. Lionax gonna try and run into the high ground. Azura already standing there and waiting, but they don't have the numbers on Army Geniuses to take the fight. So all of a sudden the +2 on the back line will get them a big kill on Azura, but oh, Army Genius, they actually want to try and take the fight as Jay runs straight to the Ice Blast. There's nothing the Eye can do to keep the Morphling healthy. Seri might be in trouble, or BB too. Wommy's got the Dark Ascension to play with deep inside the base. They go behind the tier 3 towers. They'll even place a ward down for good measure as Army Geniuses continuing to get whatever they want across the map.
Yeah, it was an ambitious relocate coming through for sure. Did end up getting him that 5 kill streak, of course.
Are they gonna go? Wommy again?
Why not?
A multi-man silence. Seri's gonna have the opportunity to pop the BKB. And
He missed that spear?
he did. I do not know how. I think it was because Lionax stunned Wommy and he was anticipating the Night Stalker to move another direction, and all of a sudden he missed on the spear. Dude, Lionax is still
like
6.
I still feel like the spear hit. So
to answer your question before, I think that this build on Jay going Lincoln's BKB is incredibly defensive. He can go this defensive build this game because he's going to get damage out of the static link on the Razor. So if Razor goes Lincoln's, then it pretty much is like there's no damage on Morphling because he hasn't itemized for damage. He's just expecting him to get it from the static link himself. Now, it's a very heavy commitment on DB. I agree with that, but I can kind of see the reasoning.
yeah, I could see the reasoning as well. I just don't like
Is
it.
it? Yeah, it's a different thing if it's right or not. BB. Oh, Varese? Dude, what? They've got no stuns and they're going to kill a puck. That is exceptional play from the supports on Army Geniuses, and they will get out with murder.
So it really feels like they're just getting caught with their pants down constantly.
Yeah.
With
Top lane, what's going on?
with MY. Oh.
Lionax. Well, he got to level 8 at least, so he's doubled his levels prior. As it increased it by 2, I should say.
He's just getting kited around constantly. Army Geniuses are doing so many little things right in all of these engagements, right? That blink stun coming through from Azura prevents him from getting off the Arena of Blood. And, you know, at the time, DB had about 2 seconds left on the BKB, so he would have been locked in place, and you would have been able to kill him. But even just the little decisions to take a tiny little backstep on DB after that so that the plasma field slow hits and he's discouraged about following. I feel like even though you're in a really rough spot to be able to do so, you gotta wait. You gotta get this BKB on the Mars, and you have to make sure that you've got a BKB on the Morph.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's a BKB. I meant Blink Dagger on Siri.
We've got, Jay and Stylist. They're going to cut off any reinforcements. Wommy jumps in instantaneously with the Ice Blast follow-up. Jay, he's going to shatter under the damage as Army Geniuses. They are just tearing apart any attempt that NY have to bring this game back into position where they can turn this around. A 16,000 net worth lead. They'll get the tier 1 and into Roche now they go.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It's a great Night Stalker pick.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know why more teams don't pick it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a really strong hero all around. And, you know, of course, there needs to be the right win conditions available. Really squishy supports that are useless if you get onto them that don't want to buy things like a BKB. So even something like the Puck is very effective in that regard. But I can't really fault too much about how he's been playing this game so far. And it's going to even get worse for MY once he gets his own BKB.
Which, with all these objectives being claimed across the map, is going to be very close to it. He's about to have 2 components, enough gold for it. Actually does now, so Yeah, it's a very good position for Army Genius to be in, and I was really looking up the triple BKB from them, but they've got everything they would ever want out of the map pre-triple BKB, so I'm very worried for MY.
I guess DB feels that he doesn't really need the refresher at this stage for the extra BKB usage because they're just so confident that with their pretty good spell use, to be honest, on AG's side, that they're just going to be able to take down these high priority targets within the timing of the first BKB. And the most important one to make sure that you're killing is the puck. I was saying it was going to be a pretty free puck game, and I feel like BB did as well as he could out of the laning stage, but ever since then, it just feels like Army Genius has been pretty next level in being able to find him out with that Dragon Tail stun and getting right on top of him with Wommy.
Yeah, I feel like it's a decent puck game as well. I just think their vision has excelled Army Geniuses to be in this position. Like, we've seen multiple times the wards has been a reason why puck is being killed off.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
The kind of issue for Army Geniuses is that they do slightly struggle with going high ground, but you can just starve out the map and make it so that MY really get nothing.
He's getting chased a little bit here with the static link onto him, but DB? Are you a BB or a DB fan?
I don't know, but I'm worried about Jay. Wommy's gonna see him. I'll try and TP out. Wommy's hunting. Oh, they don't get the stun to cancel, but they'll get the IO instead, so at least something for Army Geniuses, but this will now leave top vulnerable, and I say vulnerable, now they can just shove it out with all the heroes showing bot. Just gonna sweep.
Would you say it's a C thing, the obsession with letters? BB, DB, J. So lots of just little basic things. I guess RTZ, right?
Every word is made of a letter. Top lane, Wommy. Is he going to be able to kill off the puck? Very close. Now,
every word is made of a letter. You're a philosopher.
I was waiting for you to say something. Well, I mean, what are you saying? RTZ? Like, what? What's that comparison? Like, AR?
Words that can be made literally out of letters, you know? Like, just saying the letter. Even though you could spell it ARTEEZY, you could also spell it RTZ, you know?
Okay. Well, you got FY in China, you got DY, you got PYW.
Yes. So maybe it's an Asian thing.
Sure.
And RTZ is an honorary Asian, considering he is with Dove, so...
Like we have John as our honorary Australian because he's casting with Mike. I understand.
I mean, you see now it's
hang on. All right, that's a decent call, but instantly, the call does nothing for them. It's the fault is there on the Mars. Seri, like you said, doesn't pop a BKB, and I mean they're taking a T3 tower and hunting the puck under the ward.
Puck's gonna be able to get away and. Look at that. Wommy's like, oh no, you're not going anywhere, brother, but it's like he should be able to get away. He has complete vision underneath that board. Ice Blast even coming out across the map. Perhaps for a little bit of vision, but won't end up catching him out.
Without Seri, I don't know how you're going to hold this set of barracks. Jay's going to TP back. Oh, the Hex is out. Narman's got a... What?
What? I didn't see that.
So I saw it last fight, and I was a bit confused. I'm like, what's going on? Who's a Hex? That was the instant stun they got onto the Mars, and I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of let it slide. We were talking about other stuff, and yeah, all right. Well, Nama, this is a hell of an item. Of course, Philosopher's Stone helps out a lot. They jump. They're gonna consider it. Uh-oh, Jay's in trouble. Can he even get the BKB off in time? Jay will find it. Anticipating with the Ice Blast, he's gonna run into it! Oh my god, that was so close! Wommy's still under the tier 4 towers. They're onto the Ogre. He is killed off. Stylus is gonna be in trouble as well. Brought back to his death as Wommy is waiting in anticipation as Army Geniuses now can lead this into more objectives to be claimed.
Still hasn't popped the Dark Ascension on Wommy. He still hasn't popped his BKB either.
Azura
Just in a really
tries to
strong
pop the
position.
Lincolns with a fake grenade. They're once again diving deep. Morphling's in a bit of trouble. Irish trying to do whatever he can to keep Jay alive, but he's going to shatter under the damage. Jay's looking to buy back for round 2, but Azura, well, he's not easy to kill off at all. So that's where BB comes into play with the magical burst. They're all stuck in a tree line. This is not a place you want to be at all, as BB gets the triple, but the cost, it's pretty grave, especially with your position 1 buying back.
Yeah, it just opens up a massive win condition for Army Geniuses if they're able to take him out again. So they'll lick their wounds. They'll say, oh, it's a little bit unfortunate that we ended up giving over a good amount of gold to BB, about 1,500 or so. The real question is, what's he going to be able to do with it? He's gone the Lincolns as well, just really not wanting to get caught out at the start of a lot of these engagements. But as we've seen, that damn Fey grenade doing a great job at popping the Lincolns on whoever that seems they want to go on. So I'm not sure how effective it's actually going to be.
On me? Very nicely done. Pops smoke, gets out. Looks like this tier 1 tower will still be killed off unless Army Genius have something else to say. DB actually want to fight on MY. The respawns are coming out shortly. They're going to fight again. A silent Siri. He pops a BKB, but it gives DB enough time to be able to use his own and chase down the Mars. He's going to go back to base. I don't think he'll tick out to the Ice Blast. Nope, he will not.
A prize.
Bye-bye Stylist is not even...
No,
What? Okay. No detection.
he's not AFK, guys. He hasn't raged.
That's right. A is coming. Got a little bit of vision on...
No.
What's... Varese is just dropping out. He knows Stylist can go nowhere. It's going to be nothing. Varese didn't know exactly where the Stylist Io was, but it's going to be Nama that comes in, drops a sentry, gets the kill on Io, and back down the mid lane they go.
Oh, this is actually pretty big, although do they... Oh, they've got the recall on Narman, so even though Wami made the TP up here, he wants to wait and see if Puck reveals herself at all, but she won't do so as soon as she's showing on the map, although BB's doing a pretty good job as well, continuously making sure he's playing in the fog.
Oh, Azura, those reactions! Gets out of the range of the Mars jump, and now Wami straight to the backline. He's onto the Puck. Lincoln's broken, and Puck's health evaporates, and Jay's got to respect Army Genius. He bought back prior, playing around with his own static link, trying to control Wami, but flying through the tree line. Wami's out, and Jay! Oh, he jumped in! Jay played aggressive, and it's going to force them to call it quits as Army Geniuses will take game 1. A very convincing game 1 at that.
Dire victory.
Absolutely. Really felt like the Night Stalker tied together this draft really well. Got to give props to Wami for that. But overall, they just had a lineup that would enable you to run over the enemy team. You know, the damage early on, pretty damn lacking. Mars doesn't do a lot outside of good harass in the laning stage, and I feel like it just put a little bit too much pressure on BB to make literally everything happen for the first 25 or so minutes of this game. And, well, you can't leave it all up to one person.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you're in that position. Even though BB is level 25, Puck loves the hero, but for Army Geniuses, yeah, I like what you said. I mean, I think this game was a beautiful way for them to outround their draft for the Night Stalker. It wasn't really the combo with the Ancient Apparition, but just gave them great control of the entirety of this game. We saw really what they were able to do with Vision. I think that was the main thing, where it was very, very difficult for MY to get on the map. We saw multiple times Observer Woods with a big X factor to be able to kill BB off, and then they could go from there. So Army Geniuses, they will be able to take out game 1, and we'll see what MY can do to hit back after the break.